Hey guys, so I wanted to hang out with you today. I feel like my hangout vlogs have been very much about the same stuff, or I started out the same, kind of like, no, I haven't seen you in a while, and stuff like, I haven't uploaded a video, or I haven't uploaded a scary story or ghost story. I mean, it's like, I need to not apologize for things that don't need apologizing, because you guys are really awesome. Like, for real. Like, in past videos, I read all of your comments, and you're all very supportive and kind of like, don't worry about posting every single day. I mean, you guys miss me, which makes me feel special. But you guys seem pretty understanding, and I think that's what real friends are like. And I consider us real friends. Because, I mean, real virtual friends. Because, you know, you're not, like, pressuring me or, like, mad at me for not posting. Because when I post, I just do it when I can, and honestly, I feel bad, but I kind of like forgot about YouTube for the last couple weeks because I've been so busy working. I've been cleaning up my shop and making stuff, and for those of you who don't know, my job is I have an Etsy shop online, and on Etsy I have a store. My link should be down below, but I always post stuff on Instagram, so if you follow me on Instagram or my jewelry Facebook fan page, then you see that I'm always creating, I'm always posting and all kinds of stuff. But that's what I was just so busy in the last couple weeks, and until one of you guys posted on my Facebook fan page that, like, oh, I haven't seen your face in a while, and I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, I haven't made a video in a very long time. So I thought at least the hangout vlog would be good enough. So we can just kind of catch up and say hey, you know. So that's basically what I'm doing, and I don't really know what else to talk about. Not a lot too new, just been busy working. Being I don't know. I mean, I'm looking on the floor like I'm supposed to find something that will spark like something to talk about, but I don't know. Let's see. It's so weird. This looks like an earring, does it not? I mean, look at that. It looks like an earring. However, it's the one little blonde bit of hair that I have left. I think one of my hangout vlogs, like forever ago, I had like purple and blonde, right? Well, the purple is kind of still there, but yeah, it's grown out a lot. This June, I'm going to get my hair done, the normal hair, not the dread part. These are not gonna get done. Anyways, so eventually it'll just be different. I need a trim, and you know, I don't know, it's not really the point of this video, talk about hair. But how are you guys? I hope you guys are good. It's raining, and I love the rain. We haven't had much rain here in Oregon this winter. It's been kind of depressing, and usually the cloudiness and the rain would be what makes you sad. However, it is making me happy. But the rain always makes me happy. But I don't know. I think there's one winter up here where it rained so much and it was dark all the time that I literally was craving the sun, and that would normally never happen because that's why I moved away from California, to get away from the sun, and here I was like craving it. However, now I'm like craving rain because we've had too much sun, so the sun can go away and the rain can, as I'm whacking things, but the rain can come. I just spit. Did anybody see that? I think I have my other camera here. I think I just spit on my camera. Great. I'm just hitting things. I already broke a thing off of my jewelry rack, and trying to think if there's anything new. Not really. Just kind of like hanging out with you guys, I guess. I hope you guys like hanging out with me, even if I'm talking about like nothing. I went yesterday to the grocery store, And I have this slight obsession with tea. Now, I never used to like tea. Growing up, I never had tea. Actually, the one time that I would drink tea, there was this one year in junior high. I actually think it was more so 5th grade. I went through a short period of time where I didn't sleep, like, at all. I don't know how long this went on. I don't remember. To me, it felt like forever. For all I know, it could have been a month. It had to have been more than a week. Had to have been more than 2 weeks. So it had to have been no less than a month of just like not sleeping. I don't know why I couldn't sleep. I literally couldn't fall asleep. And I would have all-nighters. Maybe I would fall asleep for like an hour, but that was like right before I had to go to school, right? So I did a lot of not sleeping. I don't really know why. That stands out. So there was like a cartoon I used to watch. I think it was Oliver and Company. And that's what I would watch, and I would drink sleepy time tea. And so those two things remind me of not sleeping, and they were not really good memories. However, so now I haven't watched that cartoon since then, and I refuse to watch it because it just doesn't make me feel good when I tried to watch it. And I don't do well with sleepy time tea anymore. Like, that's what the taste of sleepy time tea reminds me of the moment in my adolescence when I didn't sleep, and it's not good memories. I want to say, I mean, if I could, I'm trying to remember that, like, back to why I couldn't sleep. I want to say it had to do with dreams. Like, I was afraid to sleep because of what I was dreaming about. I feel like dreams were influenced in some way, but I don't necessarily remember very well what the dreams were. Or I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really remember. But anyways, yesterday, in this last year and a half, I've gotten really obsessed with tea. I'm usually a coffee drinker, but I have this tea station now, like, out in my living room area, and I've got a collection going. And yesterday I went and I bought a bunch of tea, and I like it. So I'm just really excited about tea. It took me a while there's some teas that remind me of sleepy time tea, but if I'm like, sometimes I'll mix teas together. So I really like peach, and sometimes I'll throw in like peppermint. So it's like peppermint peach. I don't know. It just, I love it. I love blueberry tea. I love mango tea. I love ginger peach. I like ginger pear. I like cinnamon tea. I mean, there's so many teas that I like, and it's just, now all I can think of is like the time I didn't sleep. That's so weird. I haven't thought about that in a very long time. Actually, I had a dream how old was I? I was probably in like 3rd or 4th grade. I was pretty young. Maybe you guys can help me with this. I had this dream because of a movie or a show or something I saw on TV, and I can't figure out for the life of me what this show or movie or what it was that I watched. So if you guys know, like, at first I thought, like, this year or last year I watched like Goosebumps on Netflix because it came out on Netflix, and I thought, well, maybe this is from Goosebumps. I haven't finished watching all of Goosebumps on Netflix, so it still very well could be from that, but I don't think so, because I was pretty young when I watched this, whatever it was, and had this dream. So, okay, so I basically saw on TV, and it didn't scare me at the time, but all I can remember from whatever I saw on TV, it was, I didn't watch the whole thing. It was like I was flipping through channels and I came across it, and it was like these, I think they were creatures, and there was a little boy, and there was these creatures that ate his parents, but his parents turned into like a green slime, and they were, or I don't know if they did turn into the green slime. I just remember these monsters like wiping this green goo, I believe, all over like a table, and then I swear I remember them wiping it like all in the bathtub or something, and the little boy screaming that like the monsters ate his parents. if that rings, anything like that rings a bell to any of you, please let me know. Because, I mean, that's the best I could remember. That triggered a dream that night where I dreamt about like being attacked by green slime and that my parents were being eaten, and it was awful. It was horrible. And that dream traumatized me for such a long time. And I wish I knew what show that was, like, you know, because a lot of the things that traumatized me as a little kid that was on TV that influenced like nightmares or whatever, I've rewatched and to see, you know, how my subconscious took what I saw. And so if, for an example, have any of you guys seen, oh shit, what is it called? It's like the Oz. It has Michael Jackson in it. It's like the Wizard of Oz, but Michael Jackson. I watched that quite often when I was little, and the part where, oh, I haven't seen it in so long, the part where they're, I want to say they're like, it looks like a basement area, I think, and there's these big red thing, like creature costume things, and they like bounce like this, like they're like bungee cord kind of things, and they're red and they're big and they just kind of boing. I don't know, that's all I can really remember. Those scared me to death. I don't know why, but that part of that movie, it scared me. I would have nightmares, and anytime I would watch that movie, I would close my eyes during that part, you know. And then as I got older, I rewatched it. It might have been on TV or something, and I rewatched it, and it still kind of scared me a little bit because it's like, oh, it's a childhood fear, but I saw that, oh, that's where those dreams came from, and I see that for some reason I took it as scary, and I don't know why they were so scary to me, but I conquered that fear by watching it over to kind of see it, and also to kind of convince my subconscious that it's not as scary, you know. Just when I was little it was scary. I don't know if I actually shared my 2 weird phobias with you guys. I have 2 weird phobias. I don't know where one stems from, but I do know where the other stems from. If I have shared these, I apologize for repeating. However, I don't remember if I have shared these with you guys, but I'll share them now. So my first fear, technically I have 3, but I count the third with the first one. So first one, I mean, everyone, the most common fear is clowns, right? So I am afraid of clowns, but I'm also going to categorize clowns with mascots, you know, things that like at Disneyland, like Goofy and Mickey Mouse, like the big costume guys, or any costume mascot person that's like sign shaking, or a school mascot, like a costume. Now, everyone that I've talked to says that, oh, your fear is probably because of, like, for a clown, like, you can't see their face, it's fake, it's painted, or for a mascot, they just have a mask on, like their head's covered so you don't know who's behind it. That's probably your fear. No, it's not. It doesn't matter who's behind it. That's not what scares me. It's the costume. It's like the idea of this something bigger than me, like that. I don't know, it's just the costume itself is what scares me. If someone took that costume off and set it down on the floor, I'm going to be afraid of that costume still. I'm going to be afraid it's going to move. One time I remember when I was little, and I had this fear before then. I don't know, have any of you, let me know if any of you guys remember this. Okay, I was super, super little. Twinkies were big. I mean, I think Twinkies have always been big or whatever. But there was someone dressed up in a Twinkie costume, right? I remember going to the bathroom. I don't know how old I was. I think my mom was with me. The Twinkie was in the stall next to me using the bathroom. And I was so terrified of that they were going to come out of the stall and come into my stall or whatever. Yeah. And I remember wanting to get out as fast as I could so I could leave, so I didn't have to like come in contact with the giant Twinkie person, right? So that terrified me. I don't know. That's not where this stems from. Because I've always been, ever since I can remember, I've been afraid. I've been afraid of clowns. I've been afraid of mascots. Literally, I went to Disneyland last May, and anytime I saw Goofy or Donald Duck or whoever was in a big costume, I had to walk by them like this and I'm fine. As long as I don't look at them, I'm fine. And sometimes I will look, because sometimes I'll words. Sometimes I want to challenge myself. Wow, words. What are they? But I will kind of look the fear in the face, and I literally start to get like clammy, and I start to get like my heart starts pounding really quickly, and I'm just terrified, and I've just kind of accepted that. I still will try and look and face the fear, and then I'm like, okay, that's really scary, and then I look away and I'm fine. I don't know where this stems from. My mom thinks that maybe, because when I was a baby, I don't really remember. I wasn't in the hospital a few times. I don't really remember. Well, I don't remember what my mom's told me, but I was in the hospital once for having an allergic reaction to something, and then the second time I was dehydrated. I think I had the flu or something, and I couldn't keep in fluids, and I went to the hospital, and I mean, my mom still like gets choked up with this memory, but like, you know, they had to take me away to put fluids in me, and you know, like I'm screaming for my mom, and they can't come, and my grandma's crying holding my mom, and my mom's crying, and everyone's crying because they can't come to me, and I'm screaming because there's these strange people poking me with who knows what, like get fluids in me. I don't know, however they did that back then. And my mom thinks that maybe the fear of these big mascots came from me as a baby. I think I was maybe a year old, something like that, and or maybe 2. I don't remember. I don't know. But she thinks, you know, being this little person surrounded by these big doctors and big nurses, that maybe just these larger people hovering over me and, you know, not making me feel very safe, or at least if they were trying, it didn't succeed. But she thinks maybe it stemmed from that. I don't know. It's so hard. I don't know. My phobia is weird. Clowns. Clowns the same way. I don't know what it is, because I can see a person's face. They're painted, but for some reason they're terrifying. But it's weird how clowns are definitely one of the most, I don't want to say popular, because people don't choose to have phobias or fears like that. But it's the most common. That's the word I was looking for. My second phobia. I know I'm totally dragging this on and on. This video is going to be forever long. But my second phobia, this is weird, but I know where this one comes from. I am afraid of car washes that you drive through. Now the reason being, I was little, and my mom, we had a minivan. I sat in the way back of the minivan, and my mom was driving. There's no one else in the car, and my mom decides to go through a car wash. Now I'm pretty sure I've been through them before. However, this time I sat in the way back of the car, and here we are driving through the car wash, and there's these, you know, a little kid, I don't know, maybe I was like 2 or 3. I remember having a little Minnie Mouse stuffed animal, and I'm holding it like this. I remember this. And I'm in the way back, and I feel like my mom is so far away. And these things are beating the car, you know, they're scrubbing the car, but they're beating the car in my mind. Like, they're trying to get in, they're going to destroy the car, and my mom is so far away. I want my mom, but I don't want to move, because I'm too afraid to move. And I'm terrified, because then it looked like noodles just whacking the front windshield of the car, and it's terrifying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to eat my mom, and everything's hitting the car. I mean, terrifying. Since then, anytime I've gone through a car wash, I can't look. I have to be like this. And I can't look at all. See, with a car wash, this is different than the mascots. With the mascots and clowns and stuff, like if one was down there walking the street and I just kind of was watching it, I'd be like this, like kind of like hello corner of my eye watching, and I'd probably look away and then look again and then look away and look again, because I'm like trying to like test my fear, kind of like, okay, am I still afraid? Yeah, but I probably look, yeah, okay, it's scary, but I'm gonna look again, you know. That's, you know, I can kind of look at what I'm afraid of. When it comes to a car wash, I I can't look up. And my poor husband, I remember like we would start to go through a car wash and I would look for a sweatshirt or something I can pull over my head because it got pretty bad where this wasn't working. I then would like stick my head in my lap and do this, you know, like really cover my whole head. But I would look for a sweater or something. If I didn't, I would just put my head in my shirt. I mean, just to not look, and then I was fine. Like, I wasn't like scared not looking. I was calm and fine as long as I didn't look. And anytime I kind of tried to test my fear, I couldn't. I was way worse than mascots or clowns. Way worse. And so sometimes we would go through and he would forget. He'd go, "Oh shoot, I'm sorry, I forgot that." I'm like, "No, it's fine. As long as I have something, as long as my face is covered, I'm fine." And so it's weirder though when I'm like with a friend and we go through a car wash and I'm like, "So just so you know, I have this fear," and they'll feel super bad. I'm like, no, don't feel bad. I hate it when I don't want to make people feel bad. And so usually I'm just like, as long as I'm not looking, I'm fine. It's just I don't want you to think that I'm like I don't know. It just looks weird when my head is in my lap and my arms are covering. It just looks stupid. So I feel more like sorry, you know. It's just weird. I feel more sorry for my friend because, you know, but I don't want them to feel bad. So I prefer to hand wash my car when I had a car. So, but and if you guys have weird phobias or fears, let me know down below. I'm kind of curious. I can't be the only one who's afraid of weird things. I'm trying to think if there's any other. I mean, there's things that maybe I don't like. Maybe things that I'm like maybe a little like. I don't want to say full on afraid, but like things that I'm like, oh, that scares me, or that's, you know. But those are two things that, I don't know, they're not going to hurt me, I don't think. But, and it's not necessarily the idea of them, it's the image of them. I actually used to also be afraid of really, really, really loud, like, mechanical noises. So, growing up, I lived by, maybe like a block away from these, like, a train tracks. And so I grew up hearing the train every night. And it's a very soothing sound, and I'm very lucky that's, like, where I live now, the train tracks are a little further away. I live in a completely different place from where I grew up. But the set of tracks that are in this part of Oregon, in this town, they're a little further away. But it's still very comforting to hear a train every once in a while, you know, just in the background. But when I was growing up also, me and my mom would go on walks, or I would go on a walk with my dog, or, you know, my brother would go exploring, and the train, being really close to the train, like sometimes we would walk the tracks, or the side of the tracks, or the street right next to the tracks, and sometimes a train was always coming through, and I would have to close my ears, not because of like it hurting my ears, it's just the loud sound of the train scared me. And it wasn't necessarily like them blowing the horn or whatever. I don't know why I'm doing but it just, the sound of like the wheels, just the loud sound it made, it scared me. Very much similar to a car wash or a mascot. When I was older, before I moved here in Oregon, I had this job where I worked at like a dirt bike, motorcycle, ATV shop, and they did something called dyno tuning, which is very loud. Now, no one here knew my fear of like loud mechanical noises, but they would, with dyno tuning, the best way I can describe it is like you take like an ATV or dirt bike or whatever onto this machine, and I don't even know how to describe it. You have it on this machine and you are kind of like riding it on I don't know, you're like revving the engine, or basically you're trying to get it to go as fast as possible. I think that's correct. It might not be. It's been so long. I haven't worked there in like 3 years. So it's been a while. It's a little fuzzy. However, it's kind of like when you go into a gear and you can hear it climb and then you are expecting it to shift. No. with Dynatune, it just gets louder and louder and louder, and basically the whole shop is like vibrating and it's super intense and loud. The first like month that I worked there, I was terrified, like, and I was embarrassed to like tell like my boss. I'm like, so I have this fear, and I don't even know how to like explain the fear. It's like this fear of loud noises from like machinery, trains, cars, anything really loud. Whoa, hit more stuff. Like the revving of engines, like really loud. Like, you know how old cars have that really loud, bubbly, revving engine sound? I don't, you can see how I'm a mechanic, right? But just, I like, how do I explain that? Just like that? Or it just makes me sound weird? I don't know. So I didn't tell anybody, and I would like suffer in silence, basically. Just like, my heart was pounding, I was feeling clammy, and I wanted to do this, but then I'm like, what if my boss needs me, or what if the phone rings, I need to answer it, you know, but it was so loud. Oh my gosh. However, they did that often, right? So eventually, it actually really helped me to overcome that fear of such loud noises. I haven't been close to a train in a while, so I don't know how I am with trains. But when it comes to like any car around revving an engine, something really loud, I'm not bothered by it anymore. And by the time, like before I left, like before I moved, like I still worked there. But by the end of my job there, like anytime, it was like my favorite day to like get the whole like shop like vibrating, and it's like loud, and the engine is just blaring, and I mean that was like my favorite day, you know, just because it was like, oh my gosh, it sounds like an explosion's gonna happen, and it sounds so cool. It's like the complete opposite of what it originally was, you know, where I was afraid of it, but I got used to it and I overcame that fear, and I didn't let it take over, probably mostly because I had to deal with it, because that's where I worked. So the same thing might be if I had to deal with clowns every day. I'd probably get used to it. Or if I had to deal with mascots every day, I'd have to deal with it. So like if I worked at Disneyland, I would probably learn to deal with it and probably get over it. I'd probably get over those a lot quicker than a car wash. I feel like the car wash and the loud noises were pretty close to being the same kind of fear. And so the loud noises was definitely helpful, because that like affected anywhere I went. You know, you go into a parking lot, someone has an old car and they start revving the engine to get it warmed up to drive, and that would scare me. I'm very good at like hiding my fear, because I don't like attention either, so I'm really good at like kind of just like, I guess, suffering in silence is like the best way I can describe it. So people don't really know I'm afraid, and I don't really want people to know I'm afraid. So now you guys know my fears. Yeah, so I would love to know what your guys' phobias or fears are, whether they're weird or maybe if they're common, how you guys deal with them. Let's talk about like fears and like phobias and stuff. I mean, I know I probably have a bunch of other little ones. I've mentioned in one of my really older videos about like a recurring dream that I've had since I was little, and where I think the dream stems from. I've shared that before, which is very interesting. So it's weird to have like a phobia with a certain dream, like a recurring dream that has like a fear phobia, and I don't know. So I don't know, it's weird. And is there a difference between a fear and a phobia? Like, I don't know. I should Google that, because I want to make sure that I'm using correct terms and not misusing them, if that makes sense. So this video is long enough. It's almost 30 minutes. Holy cow. So I think I've talked your ear off. Let me know what your phobias down below are and all that stuff. And feel free to follow me on my Facebook page. Either one. I have two. I have my jewelry one, which is facebook.com/ladylockscreations. And then my other fan page, which is facebook.com/ladylockslife. You can follow me on one or either or both. It doesn't matter. The Lady Locks Life one is just more whatever. The jewelry one is my business. And feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which is all Lady Locks Life. I'm also on Tumblr, Lady Locks Life. Everywhere I'm Lady Locks Life. Yeah. So follow me, and we can hang out everywhere. So when I'm not here, I'm there. In all those places. So I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Bye.